gives a fuck.
It's Drewski McGillicuddy, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Next Generation movie review.
Hey everybody, it's Drewski McGillicuddy. It's Drewski McGillicuddy. So I just watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. Whew! Goddamn, when's the last time I watched this movie? Because it has been a long time. And with good reason. Now, I remember there being parts of this movie that I could actually get behind. And there's still some parts that I can get behind. But I never actually really noticed how terrible all of the acting is. Even from Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey. Because that's right, Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey are in this movie, and she's actually cute in this movie. Because I've always found her to be like a little less than attractive, but she's actually kind of cute in this movie. There was another movie she was cute in at one time, but I can't remember. But that's not important. Anyway, this movie's about these kids that are at the prom, and then this girl catches her boyfriend making out with this other girl. And then he's trying to make excuses as to why he's justified in doing what he did. And it's all just the worst fucking dialogue I've ever heard in my goddamn life. Like, every single line of dialogue out of everybody in this movie, except for, like, a little bit from our people that become stars eventually. And whoever this fucking... I don't know who he is or what his name is. I wasn't bothered to remember, but he's basically the other hitchhiker character. Because if you want to get technical, I mean, I guess Matthew McConaughey's character is more like the tow truck driver from part 3 than he is any character from part 1 or 2, which is funny because before we get into the movie, you know, these kids at the prom, blah, 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 yada, yada. This movie kind of steals certain notes from the original. Like, they're blatant rip-off scenes. There's the scene where he puts the girl in the freezer. There's the scene where he puts the girl on the hook, which is the same girl he puts in the freezer. And then there's the scene where Renee Zellweger first gets to the house. She runs up the stairs and out the window. And they were just poorly executed rip-offs of scenes from the original movie. I don't know if anybody's ever noticed that. I'm just pointing it out. I don't know if I found the footage to show you what I'm talking about, because for some reason there's not that much stuff that I could find on YouTube. That's why I need to get a goddamn laptop with a goddamn Blu-ray thingy so I can rip. I have no idea what I'm doing. So anyway, these kids are at the prom. They get in a fight, and they're fighting in the car, and then that's when they realize that Renee Zellweger and her, it's not really her boyfriend, but just the guy she's hanging out with, they're smoking weed or whatever. I don't fucking know. But they're driving along, and they get in a car accident, and I guess I'm to believe that this kid that looks like the Shermanator from American Pie gets out of the car, and he died. Well, I guess he was sleeping there, and then something happens to him. I don't know. The beginning of this movie is kind of a fucking mess, and I don't like any. I don't. This is so goddamn difficult. There's not really any redeeming qualities about the beginning of the movie, necessarily. Sure, we get some tits real quick. I can't show them because I don't have... Oh my god, this fucking review is going to be worse than the movie. So, they get in a wreck, they come across this lady who eventually shows us her tits for some odd reason, and it turns out she's the one teacher from Varsity Blues that's like the stripper lady. She is a very handsome lady, and you know, right off the bat, when I was a kid, I distinctively remember having the feeling that I don't trust this lady either. And I was right to not trust her. I've kind of grown to not trust anybody in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really trust anybody. But anyway, what was I talking about? Because I wanted to talk about, there was a character... See, I totally forgot what I was doing, and I skipped right over the character of whoever the not Matthew McConaughey guy is. Okay, because you got Leatherface, who is just completely garbage. So we'll just talk about that later. And then you got this guy, and he's kind of entertaining. I kind of like how he like quotes figures in history. He's probably misquoting them, but every time he like quotes them, he says their name. I don't know if I can find an example. If not, here's me sitting here looking like a jackass. I don't even know why I try anymore! Should we just talk about Leatherface? Should we just go straight back to the Leatherface and how Leatherface looks completely ridiculous, even though, if you look closely, every single costume he wears, aside from the very end of the movie, the first costume you see him in, he's got the yellow apron on with the dress shirt and the tie. But I don't know what's going on with like the hair, with his wig and stuff. And then whoever the fuck this jackass is that's playing him is just way too far over the top. Like here's Leatherface from the original, and here's the second Leatherface. And then the third Leatherface was like just below the second, right above the original, but like the original's still I don't know how the hell I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Oh my god, this Leather, like, and then they keep calling him Leather. Matthew McConaughey keep, Leather, get her Leather. But if you notice, his first outfit looks like the first outfit in the original, just not as good. Just like the scenes that they were stealing from the original. They did the scenes, just not as good. And then later on in the movie, Leatherface puts on the old lady attire. Just like in the original when they're getting ready for the dinner scene. And then there is the dinner scene. There's a dinner scene in this movie, but instead of them eating like stew made from people meat, they ordered some fucking pizza! Which, I'm not gonna lie, that is one of the better parts of the fucking movie, because she's going through the drive-thru to pick up her pizzas, and Renee Zellweger is in the trunk, because this is after she... Oh god, there's like so much stuff that I'm skipping over. I don't care. I really don't care. But anyway, she's in the trunk. I don't even have it. I don't even have this scene. I couldn't find it. Maybe I can find it. I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking. So she's in the drive-thru, ordering her fucking pizza, and Renee Zellweger's in the trunk making noise, and the guy taking her order says, "Hey ma'am, I think there's something in your trunk." And she's like, "Oh yeah? You want to come check it out?" And he's like, "Oh, sure." And then he sees the police, I guess, and he's like, "Oh, no, never mind, thanks, though." And then I guess I don't fucking know, but the scene is fun, because, you know, she's sitting there telling her that she's gonna beat her, she don't shut the fuck up, and then the police are slowly creeping up behind her, and she says that she'll stop if she pokes her in an air hole, so she pokes her fucking air hole. The police come up, start flirting with the lady because the lady is very attractive. But she gets back in her car, she leaves. Well, let's just get back to the dinner scene. Fucking pizza. Is this supposed to be a comedy? I really don't know. Because some of it's like, I want to laugh, but I know I shouldn't. Because it's embarrassing, is what it really is. And... Apparently, I was cut off. Where was I? Who really gives a shit? Did I talk about the scene before this scene that I was just oh my god, just there was another decent scene, I thought, aside from when she's picking up the pizza, and it's when Matthew McConaughey picks up Renee Zellweger. It's a good scene, even though it's like, why would you get in this truck? This dude is creepy right off the bat, and then as soon as she gets in the truck and shuts the door, the creep factor goes through the fucking roof, and it's one of the only actual effective scenes in the movie, I think. But aside from that, like, I don't know, there's a couple things with Renee Zellweger, like, let's go back to the dinner scene. Like, they tried to recreate the dinner scene. Fucking pizza! And then, if you look closely, there's this old man sitting over here. Is that supposed to be Grandpa? Because I'm pretty sure Grandpa was already dead to begin with in the last movie, and then, just for good measure, he got shot in the fucking head. Plus, doesn't even remotely look like Grandpa. Like, it's probably so embarrassing that there's probably not an image on Google. If I were to search Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation Grandpa, it probably won't even come up. If not, it is sitting there and I just sound like a fucking asshole. Anyway, the other good scene is when, you know, Renee Zellweger gets pissed off and tells him that she's leaving, and then Leatherface starts his crybaby whining bullshit again, and she tells him to shut the fuck up and sit down.
You sit the fuck down. Shut up.
And then we go on for another 10 fucking minutes, and it's just, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking when they made this movie. I don't know what they were thinking, okay? Because then this limo pulls up with this fucking weird guy with this terrible fucking toupee. He comes in and he tells Matthew McConaughey that he's not doing his job right, and apparently his job is to instill fear in today's youth if they just so happen to be driving down a road near them. What? Anyway, so then that guy leaves, and then there's another fucking struggle that goes on for kind of far too long, and she fucking escapes, and there's these people in a Winnebago, and it's just one of the worst fucking endings I've ever seen in my goddamn life. They flip the fucking Winnebago, and then here comes the fucking limousine again. And she gets in the limousine, and they take her to the hospital, I guess. What? None of this movie makes any fucking sense. Not that, you know, it has to, because it's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. It's just be, you know, people driving along, all of a sudden, there's a guy with a chainsaw. But no, this movie had to go beyond that and have unnecessary characters. I mean, it's kind of just rolling off of the third one, but they're trying to like splice all three original films into like some fucked up mismatch. The Leatherface at the end of the movie, let's talk about that. Like, this is just god-awful terrible. It don't even look like human flesh. This looks like somebody made this out of like paste or something and then painted it. Like layered paste, or I don't fucking know. It looks fucking terrible, I know that, but for some reason I've run out of room to film. So I guess we're just gonna have to be like, what? That's the rating. Did I mention that the fucking guys in the limo pick her up and take her to the fucking hospital? I don't know. But is there some kind of secret society out there that just... Oh my god, let me know what was worse, this fucking review or the goddamn movie, okay? There's a fucking button you can push to let me know, and you can comment and stuff. I really don't fucking know, but I think there might be something wrong with my phone. I gotta go. Make sure.